Coming up on Hot TV, we take a look at a junior flute player, a Hebron alumna returning as a teacher and coach, and the start of the swim team season. This is Hot TV for Friday, October 23rd. Good morning, Hebron High School. I'm Ava Caballero Romo. Junior Emily Park plays flute in the band, but also participates in many flute activities outside of school. Emma Willis got to take a closer look at how she uses her talent outside of band.
Junior Emily Park starts playing flute after joining the Killian Band her first year of middle school.
I was given the option between flute or clarinet, which is kind of funny, but my mom was like, you should play flute, and I was like, okay. So she bought me a really cheap flute. Then I didn't actually start practicing until I went into 6th grade-ish. So that's when from 6th grade, then I was a little bit ahead because I knew how to blow and everything, but that's when it really started.
Park's private lesson teacher, Monica Song, and her mother, Soo-An Kim, have watched Park's improvements and numerous accomplishments. Their success and failures, Song and Kim were there to help Park take her next step forward.
Every place she made the first place. So she is very special. Very talented girl.
저는 음악에 대해서 잘 모르지만 에밀리가 지난 겨울에 TMA에서 first chair 했을 때 가장 프라우드했습니다.
Park has won the France International Competition 2020, Donna Marie Hare 2020, and Berlin International Rising Stars 2020, along with being a 2-year All-Stater and principal flutist in the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. Park's mother describes what it's like to watch her daughter prepare for performances.
에밀리가 연습할 때는 엄마가 보는 걸 싫어해서 많이 못 봤지만 피아노 리허설이라든지 파이널 리허설 때 보면 감동받아서 되게 감동스러운 적도 있고 열심히 하는 모습이 너무 대견스럽습니다.
On June 19th, Park received a direct message on her Flute Instagram inviting her to join the Beacon family, an organization that reaches out to people like Park to perform for the elderly at retirement facilities such as Sparks Loving Care in Oxford. As a result of COVID-19, she's unable to physically visit, but every few weeks, Park records herself playing music which is then sent to stream at these retirement facilities.
Even if it takes more time out of my life, it shows that I can just do more than just play my music. I can do it for the good of the community and for the good of other people. And I'm hoping it impacts them because I hope they enjoy it. And of course, I'm not able to see their reaction, but just giving that extra service, I hope it can make them happy in these terrible times right now when they can't really go anywhere.
Like any other musician, Park faces many barriers. Having responsibilities to uphold, staying consistent is a challenge, but Park finds the time to improve. She continues to keep her head held up high as many see that her future is bright. Park believes making mistakes in the past had helped her enhance her skills.
You're never going to be perfect. Not every single performance is going to be perfect. And I remember I was so obsessed with that back then, just scared of not making a mistake, but just accepting it and just thinking of yourself as I'll do this better this time. Even if it's the smallest thing, it's going to make everything better because it all adds up.
Reporting for Hawk TV, I'm Emma Willis.
Thanks, Emma. Park's Flute Instagram will be linked below. To get to know the student body, we asked a handful of upperclassmen where they work.
I work at Topgolf, and I like the people and the community that it has. It's a lot of fun.
I work at Baskin Robbins, and I really like the money and being able to pay for my own things.
Home Depot, and I really like it because I have a lot of friends.
I work at Shields, and I like just working with my coworkers, and I like the pay as well. I work at 54th Street Bar and Grill in the Colony, Texas, and I really like it because I don't know anyone that works at my job, but it's just a distraction from school and home.
I work at Shields, and I like that I get a lot of money because it's $13 an hour, and then I like that I don't have to deal with customers because I work in the web team.
I work at Andy's Frozen Custard, the location in Carrollton, and I love working there because I work with a bunch of my friends.
Thank you to all the students who shared. On October 19th, a handful of orchestra students auditioned for All Region. Ellery Lyles takes a look into how the audition process looked a little different this year.
The All-Region Orchestra Group is made up of the best string players in the region from Louisville, Denton, and Northwest ISD. Usually, orchestra students would audition in a room full of panel judges, but now due to COVID-19, have to make the switch to submitting file recordings online. Director Matthew Kotovar says students are responding differently to these changes.
Some people live for that thrill and that, the adrenaline of playing in a live setting. And some people really elevate for that. Typically, I've seen that the students are looking forward to be able to produce their best recording. So, it might take a couple of times first to get those nerves out, and, eventually they're going to have to submit something that they're happy with.
Orchestra player Alana Dryberg says that there has been a new issue developing regarding the ability to re-record audition videos an infinite amount of times that wasn't a problem in earlier years.
When you're doing an audition in real life, a lot of times when you're playing, you can for me at least, you can kind of just blank out. Like you'll just do it, and then you'll walk out of the audition room and you'll be like, okay, I guess I did that. But for video, it's like you really have to be honest with yourself on what sounds good and what doesn't.
As a way to receive feedback, the All-Region Orchestra competitors are allowed to send in their recordings to Kotovar, something that many students such as junior Ju-Young Kim have stated to be helpful in many ways.
He encourages to practice more towards All Region for those auditioning, but he does encourage to practice both if you're stuck on one or the other.
It's pretty self-paced, but you still have to know, like, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing. I need to be at this point by this date, that kind of thing. And specifically for us, Mr. Kotovar helps out a lot in the sense that he will listen to your recordings, he will listen to your excerpts and give you advice on what to do.
After students are selected, an all-state competition will be held virtually, similar to All Region, where LASD and other districts in Texas will be included.
If you get selected to All Region, you have the opportunity to record a packet of music for All State, and for that one, you're competing against students across the entire state. So we have about 30 regions. So like I mentioned, our region is 3 school districts. So imagine our region times 30, and that's your competition.
Although orchestra students have the option to put themselves through the challenges of putting in extra hours and work for the new audition process, Kotovar says that regardless of the changes, the outcome in the end is still worth it.
Some of our students have made it in the past, and we'll have students that make it and some might not. And for me, the message is the same. It's always a learning experience and hopefully a stepping stone to improve. And so I challenge them to go for it and to learn that material because it is a challenge, and no matter what, there's something to learn from it.
Reporting for Hawk TV, I'm Ellery Lyles.
Thanks, Ellery. For more digital performances from the orchestra, check out their Twitter or Instagram. The handles will be posted down below. The Silverwings are selling homecoming mums and garters online this year. Students or parents may go to themumshop.com or hebronsilverwings.org to place their orders. Sales began on Wednesday and will end on November 6th. Mums will be delivered to school on Wednesday, November 11th, and will be available for pickup in the auxiliary gym before and after school. New assistant softball coach and 2013 Hebron graduate Chelsea Herndon never thought she would be back at Hebron as a teacher. Camellia Palmer got to take a look into what it's like for Herndon to return to her alma mater.
After graduating from Hebron and playing softball at the University of Florida, Chelsea Herndon is back as an English teacher and assistant softball and basketball coach. Herndon says when she was hired, it felt like coming back home.
It's where I went to high school. It's what I'm super familiar with. So finding out that I got the job at Hebron I felt like I had an opportunity to pour a lot of things that I've learned from being at Hebron and being in the athletic program and just from my teachers, and have that opportunity to give back to the students and back to a community that did so much for me.
In high school, Herndon was involved in school with being a student athlete. While playing softball at Florida,
Chelsea Herndon comes up and hits a pinch hit grand slam home run.
she was part of 2 national championship teams. Herndon says she applies her experience from high school and college in her coaching and teaching.
And it's literally been the exact same shoes at Hebron High School. I can just provide them with all of the experience, everything that I've learned, whether it's like a life skill that I've learned, like time management, motivational stuff, all of those things, and softball related. So bringing everything that I learned through college and giving it to them, I think will really help.
Not only has Herndon come back to teach where she went to school, but she's also teaching side by side with former classmates.
We have Coach Lily, who's at swim, we have Miss Asmar, Coach Talton, so I think that speaks a lot about just Hebron High School in general and the culture and how we all want to come back and help.
Math teacher Sarah Asmar began teaching at Hebron in 2018. Herndon and science teacher and assistant softball coach Deja Talton both started teaching at Hebron this year. Asmar and Talton says it's been amazing working with classmates from high school.
Coach Herndon and I have known each other since 3rd grade. So we've actually been best friends since 3rd grade. And then Miss Talton and I have known each other through high school. And so honestly, when I found out that they were here, I got super excited.
Miss Herndon and Miss Asmar, just seeing them around, just remembering how we were and our homecomings and things like that, just always, it's a big nostalgia.
As a first-year teacher, Herndon says the experience has been challenging, but working around familiar faces has reassured her that she's in the right place.
The year has been such a roller coaster. I feel like everybody could say the same thing, but I have enjoyed it. I love what I do, even though it's a crazy, hectic time, and I feel like I'm juggling multiple things at once. Like, I absolutely love what I'm doing, and I know that this is my calling and this is where I need to be.
Reporting for Hawk TV, I'm Camelia Palmer.
Thanks, Camelia. Herndon will assist both the softball team and the girls basketball team this year. The swim team season has begun and has had 2 meets so far. Elisa Young got to take a look into the start of the season and what the team hopes to accomplish.
After having its second meet last week against Reedy High School, junior Anna Rejniak and head coach Donzi Lilly say the team is pushing through despite a rough start.
We've been in here every day and working hard, so I feel like we have a good season ahead of us.
I think it's going to be a true test of rest versus rust. A lot of these swimmers swim over the summer and they didn't have that opportunity this year. So there was a lot of races they didn't close out, but it is early in the season, and I think that's something we can address in practice so that come January they'll be ready to race at the top level.
Due to COVID regulations, many of the bigger meets where more schools compete have been canceled. This also affects swimmers qualifying for big meets like state. Lilly says he hopes to send more competitors to state this year.
Last year we had 2 girls go to state. This year I'd like to see if we can get 2 boys and 4 girls to state.
Rejniak says even though only a few will go on to swim at selective meets, the team continues to encourage each other.
I think we're a really tight-knit family here. We come in every morning and we go through these workouts together, which are really difficult some days, and we push each other in and out of the pool at meets, and we're always there cheering each other on.
Lilly says the team needs to remain optimistic with whatever they face.
We have to push forward and find the solution to every problem that we're going to encounter. So it's never going to be anything until the season's over. We have to find a reason to keep swimming, keep getting up, and racing fast.
Reporting for Hawk TV, I'm Elisa Young.
Thanks, Elisa. Swim has its Grapevine Colleyville meet next week on Tuesday. In other sports news, cross country competes in Capel on Saturday. Boys and girls golf wrap up the second day of tournaments today. Volleyball plays Louisville at home tonight at 6:30, and football plays its first district game of the year against Plano East tonight at 7 at Kimbrough Stadium in Plano. That's it for today's episode. I'm Ava Caballero-Roma. Have any story suggestions? Our email is down below. And make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.